Hey everyone, this is my podcast. This is Sinai Gaz, and I will talk with Viktorija. You need to help me with the name. Shomariva?
Very close, thank you.
Okay. She's a language teacher for Japanese, English, Russian in Austria and in the Czech Republic. And we're going to talk about Czech. So, hi, Viktorija.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thanks for being the first participant in this. And the first question for you. First of all, I want to greet you with ahoy, which is the Czech
the sailors
the
greeting.
Sailors, the pirate greeting. Yeah. So
it's strange because we don't have sea in the Czech Republic.
Yes, you don't have sea, but you still think like as a pirate. It's apparently so. So the first question. I'm guessing it's gonna be a little bit easier for you. What is your favorite snack or Czech dish? Is there anything?
That's a hard one because it's quite debatable whether Czech food is good or not.
Goulash?
Yes, isn't it well, it's not very savory. So if your audience is from India and they come to Czech Republic and they want something savory, something nice, something good, they might say that the Czech food is quite bland because it doesn't have any flavor, but to our taste it's quite good. Well, a traditional Czech snack would be maybe oplatka, which is like an enormous, I will repeat it very slowly, oplatka. Oplatka, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And it's an enormous wafer. It's as big as your face.
Okay.
And or
what is it?
Because oplatka, it's an enormous wafer.
Mm-hmm. Great.
It's dry and it has some flavor inside. It has some nougat flavor or chocolate flavor, whatever flavor you want. And I'm from Moravia, so my favorite Moravian snack is a stinky cheese.
Stinky cheese. Okay.
It's putrid. It smells putrid, but it's all the goodness,
Okay. And I think
that's why we have stinky.
Right?
Pardon?
You're drinking beer with it, right? Something like that.
You may. Yes. It's quite a savory snack, but it stinks. And there is in Olomouc, where I used to study, we have this place called Olomoucká tvaruškárna, if I'm not mistaken, if they didn't change the name. And they make snacks that look like cake. But the main ingredient is stinky cheese, so it's actually salty. So it might confuse people. It's an acquired taste,
Okay, great. What is an interesting pastime local to you? I mean, what is like a local or a Czech pastime? Pastime, yeah. What do you do as a hobby in Czech? Is there anything?
Czech people are pretty relaxed, so their favorite activity is going to the pub with some friends. We have very rich pub culture, and lots of pubs have. Pardon?
Picking hobby, no?
I think it's your favorite pastime after you visit the Czech Republic. But let me finish about talking about the Czech pub culture, and then I pick up on your hobby comment. So lots of Czech pubs have their own breweries.
Okay.
So so you can try local beer from that pub. So it's pretty cool.
So the pub has its own
brewery.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. Especially in Moravia. Yeah.
Wow, this sounds super specific. So you came to the specific pub with the specific beer that they make on the spot, not on the spot, but on the place. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the hobby? What about the mushroom thing? Is it a real thing?
They don't like to fight. They don't like to argue. They just want to go to a pub with their friends and chill.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what about the hobby? the mushrooms?
It's your favorite pastime activity, I think. They taught you well. Well, yes. What you refer to, I think, is mushroom picking or mushroom hunting. Not everybody goes, but lots of people do go to the forest, and they search for mushrooms, and they know which mushrooms to find under which tree. It's a knowledge passed from their grandfather, from their father or mother onto their children. Yes. So
how does it work? How do you have
well, you just go to the forest to look for mushrooms, and in autumn especially, and under certain trees you're likely to find certain mushrooms. But again, I think you overhyped this thing a little bit because I went just as a child. It's not like every day I would go there with some friends and family members. But on the other hand, I mean, it's free stuff growing from the ground. Why wouldn't you pick it and eat it, right?
Okay. Interesting. So let's move to the next questions. Do you have like a favorite music or movie or Czech show that you say, wow, people from the outside?
Well, Czech. Let's separate it: Czech movies or Czech music. Because Czech music is, I mean, there is a saying. So Czech to muzikant. It means it means something like every Czech person is a musician, which is these days really not true, because Czech pop, in my opinion, is it's not something I would want to listen to in my free time. And Czech language, in my opinion, is not so melodic because it has lots of consonant in it, consonants. So you have strč, prs, skr, skrk. You have lots of words that
not very musical.
Yeah, consonant
words.
clusters. So it often is not melodic.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Very nice in music.
Well, English is certainly more melodic than Czech, but of course there are classics like Bedřich Smetana and other famous classical musicians. You also have lots of local bands that are amazing who didn't make it to the top. But if you go to Charlesbridge, you may find lots of
Prague,
local, right? Buskers, and you may find some really amazing musicians as well. But I haven't heard anything recently on the radio that would appeal to me personally.
Oh, and what about like cinema or like theater? Is there anything in that area that you say, listen, you should go to this to see that? I mean, these days it's not like really an option to go to a theater or to a cinema, but after.
What last movie? Well, we have, for example, a very nice collection of poetry. It's called Kytice, and they made it into a film, so you can see lots of folklore in this movie, and it's divided in several sections, where you can see something from local folklore. For example, there's one tale about the noonday witch, Polednice. It's a witch that appears only at midnight, and it scares children, so you have a segment about that. Or there is there's a mythical figure. What?
Polednice is noon.
Polednice. Right? Poledne is noon, and Polednice is like the noon's witch, the noon's day witch. It's kind of hard to translate sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so this movie is quite nice. It captures the local spirit, I guess, the folklore.
Do you have some? I think it's in the same direction. Do you have like a favorite local sound? Something that you say, "Wow, sounds like Czech to me," or sounds like, I don't know, something from the city that I was growing up.
That's a hard one. It reminds me, maybe not a sound, but a place. So in Olomouc, where I used to study, we have a pub called Ponorka, which means submarine. Yes, and it used to be an underground poetry meeting place. In the 60s, I think it's quite an old pub, as far as I know, and there are some local bands that play there. I remember one day we entered and there was nobody except of one guy playing to himself. And he was so amazing. And then he gave us free tickets to his show. Turns out it was, I'm not sure if it was Alex Carlin. I think it was him. Like he was a very famous American musician, right? But because this place was so little known to a broad audience, he played to himself in this pub. So you can actually meet famous people in this pub, and nobody would ever recognize them.
Nice. So again, like a sea reference, submarine, but Czech doesn't have sea, so it's very nice. The thing with that they think that they have sea.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it may refer to some sort of underground, some sort of secret meeting place,
Got it.
Or underdog sort of thing.
This is like classical about Czech. What is your favorite or interesting custom, weird or interesting custom in the Czech Republic? And I know that there are a lot customs or traditions.
I'm afraid, you did say that this podcast is going to be about an hour long. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid if I start talking about it, we'll be here for a long time.
So just give me like one of like
weird customs.
Yes.
Well, there are weird global, like countrywide customs, and then there are weird local customs. But if anybody who knows anything about Czech culture would listen to it, to this podcast, they would think of Easter traditions. Yeah.
Okay, I think that I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. So at Easter, basically, local children or some family members, male family members, would visit a home, and if there is a young woman or even an older woman, they would have this whip that they traditionally. They would have made it themselves, but you can also buy it. And with this whip, they are supposed to whip.
What's the name of the whip?
Pomlaska. Pomlaska. Yes. It has beautiful ribbon on it, so it can, like this, make this nice sound. And they would enter your house, and they would whip you. And then, as a woman, they would whip the woman, and the woman is supposed to pay them with either, if they're adults, then with alcohol, with slivovitze, or they would give them chocolates, cakes, sweets if they're children. But in some places, I also know that because of emancipation, I guess, they alter. Like one year it's girls whipping boys, and the other year boys whipping girls. But I know that's not the traditional way. And in Moravia, where I come from, it's usually guys whipping the girls.
Really? And that's still a thing in Czech Republic?
Yes. Well, not so much in big cities, as lots of people just don't want to follow such traditions anymore. Yeah, they get a bit lazy, I guess. And antisocial.
Okay, so it's more in the rural areas.
Yes, okay. In villages. My sister lives in a small town, and people do that.
Really?
Yes. And it's like 15 minutes away from Prague, and they do it. But in Prague, usually not.
And you've seen this? Have you been participated in this Pomlaska?
Yes, really? I remember as a child in my town, we would go from house to house, and usually you're supposed to say a poem, and we visited our teacher's house. Mm-hmm. And she acted very weird. She refused to open the door at first, and then we kept knocking until she opened. She just squeezed her hand out with a few chocolate eggs, and she just threw it at us a little bit, into our direction, and closed the door. And it didn't occur to me why she was so, against opening the door. And then it hits me, she was afraid we were going to whip her.
Is there a way to avoid
whipped myself? I've been whipped myself,
Is there a way
of course,
to avoid
you're not supposed to do it hard.
Yeah, but is there a way to avoid it? I don't know, because if you, to pay or not pay, to this bring beer to the local or whatever to not do
it's
it.
these days it happens within a family or within a circle of friends. You know, you don't go to a random lady across the street and like, okay,
that would be
her dog crapped on my lawn, and now I have this whip. I'm gonna take revenge, and she will have to pay me. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's within a friend, like a circle of your family or friends,
close relatives.
And of course, if it's really not, you're not into that, of course you can say sorry, but I don't like it, you know, nothing will happen to you. No. It's more like fun. And I think it has something to do with fertility, this tradition of keeping fertility. It's a pagan tradition, so like although it happens during Christmas, it's not actually a Christian tradition, it's a pre-Christian tradition.
Do you okay, so next one. Do you have like a favorite local Czech smell, something that you really like, maybe related to the cheese?
Apart from stinky cheese.
Yeah, so maybe that can be.
I think it's a European thing, but when I think of a local Czech smell, it would be a smell of Christmas. Nice. Because we have early in December we have and these days also in November we have these Christmas stalls that smell of all kinds of stuff, you know, like punch, stinky cheese. I've mentioned it many times, and sausages and all kinds of this mixture of all stuff, you know, and it smells nice, cinnamon, ginger, all kinds of smells, and it, you know, it's nice.
So, yes. So that's so if you will have this smell when you're abroad, that will bring back Czech memories or stuff like that. Really?
Definitely.
Great. This is something nice. What is your favorite words or idioms in Czech?
Okay, words.
Words, yeah. Or idioms, maybe like something's, you know, phrases.
Yeah, so it's hard to pick your favorite word, but I like, for example, I like local words, dialect words, yeah, and they're sometimes fun to translate and they sound funny.
Go ahead. Tell someone something.
Or maybe some maybe an idiom. Czech idioms don't make much sense if you translate them word per word, for example. And my old teacher used to say, when she was surprised about something, she would say, "Ježkovi oči." It means like hedgehog's eyes. You know?
When she sees something scary, you said?
No, surprise, something surprising, or, you know, like to show surprise, she would say, hedgehog's eyes, you know?
Great, okay. So anything else? Some other words that are...
I'm sure you can find these online, these words that are translated literally into English, and they wouldn't make any sense. And some people took it to the extreme. For example, when you say mazaná liška, it means smart fox, but mazany means lubricated.
Okay.
So lubricated fox. Okay. Of course, it doesn't make any sense if you translate it.
Yes. You tell me something that I really like, Abu Dhahush. I don't know if it's your favorite, but it's like...
It's not favorite. And like again, I advise you strongly not to overuse it. Of course, if you see a sick person and you know, like you don't comfort them with such words. But sure. Abu Dhahush means, and it's going to get worse. So it's something that an old person would say to you, or I don't know, some friend would say to you, but not in a personal context. It's not like, sure. My wife is cheating on me, and they wouldn't say Abu Dhahush and it's gonna get worse. That's not how you use it. You would use, and it's gonna get worse when it comes to things that are outside of your control. Like the weather changes and it's hot and I don't know what's the purpose of this phrase, but you may hear somebody saying, and it's gonna get worse. So global changes, it's really hot, and they're gonna say, and it's gonna get worse, or the politics is like really messed up, and you may hear, and it's gonna get worse from somebody.
Nice. It's not very optimistic,
I know
but it's nice.
You found it weird because in Israel, you're from Israel, right?
Yeah.
So in Israel, you said that people would comfort each other, and they say,
sure.
"Oh, it's gonna be better," or "It's all right."
Yeah, beseder.
Hi, beseder. But in Czech, sometimes, they like to be pessimistic sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So here we still.
But no, don't overuse it, please.
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
sure
and it's always, you can use it as you can always use it in context of politics, weather, or things you cannot change.
Not personal stuff.
No,
general stuff. No. Okay, got it.
General stuff. No, yeah.
Got it. Yeah, it's not very polite to say to someone who is sick and then you say it's gonna be worse. Of course.
No. Politics, something that it's outside of anybody's control.
Great. Thanks for the tip. Do you have a favorite curse word in Czech?
Curse word
or something?
That's hard.
It's not supposed to be like very harsh. It could be even like very sophisticated curse or very sophisticated insult or something like that.
Sophisticated insult.
I don't know.
Hard, yes. When I'm angry at something that it concerns politics and whatever, because you're pissed off at the politician, you don't expect anything good from him. You would say "Buddha hoosh," yeah.
Okay.
But again, be careful with this phrase. Don't use it always. It's sometimes you may hear it.
Yeah.
But
Sure,
it's not. It's not something that you would use all the time. But a curse word, for example, Heisel means like toilet.
Okay.
Heisel would mean you are a toilet.
Wow,
so you can call somebody a toilet.
Sounds super harsh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Czech curse words tend to be unspectacular.
Really? Okay. I don't know. Maybe you have some other reference to other languages who has like spectacular curses. I know that we're talking about Czech, but
Germans can be very creative with
okay. Can you
with curse words?
A little bit like German.
Yeah, I was watching Die Hard the other day, and I've always watched in English, and this time I watched it in German, and there was a scene where the hero called somebody a Weichkäse, which is like soft cheese.
Okay.
So piss off, you soft cheese,
Okay, nice.
So I found it more creative.
Yeah, okay, soft cheese. Okay, interesting. Do you have like some I don't know, some local joke or tale that really encapsulated the Czech spirit in your eyes? Something, I don't know, like
sure I do. Usually, local jokes are often they're about the difference between Moravians and Bohemians, because there's like some sort of competition going on, because Bohemia is where Prague is located, where all the seat of the president is located, and so Moravians may, there's a competition going on there, but I'm polite. I don't want to tell you any joke.
Okay. And I don't know, and a tale, I don't know, some like story tale that really
fairy tales. Yeah. I mean, I really like Czech folklore, but it tends to turn out very dark. I've told you already about this.
Okay. Just something short, just something short. Something that just really can really give us a taste of Czech in that sense.
Well, I was teaching once in a company, and I asked my students, tell me a Czech fairy tale of your childhood, and they told me this story about Otesánek, which is a little baby that some people found in the woods, and it looked kind of like a root from the tree, and they brought it home, and they fed it, and it kept being hungry, so they fed it everything they could, and it still was hungry, so they fed so it ate the animals in the yard. It ate the neighbors.
The baby?
The baby, and it ate the parrot, and then it popped.
Wow,
and I thought it was pretty morbid, and they said,
Totally.
and they objected. They said, no, it's a normal story. What's so morbid about it? And actually, they turned it into a horror movie. So if you want,
sounds right. It sounds right to make it a horror movie.
I thought this is what nightmares are made of. You know, this baby that looked like a root and that ate everything and it popped.
Yes.
You know, but apparently Czech people like this.
Yeah, Czech have some weird stuff in there.
No, come on, let's not say that. I think
some weird stuff in their culture, you know.
Look, fairy tales, folk tales often had a dark twist, you know. So
Grimm
if you
Brothers.
read original stories like Snow White and
Hansel and Gretel
and Red Riding Hood, you know, these stories had a really dark origin before Disney adapted it. So I think this Otesanic was a raw folklore version of something, and they turned it into a horror movie, which I personally found terrifying. So you should check it out if you're a fan of horror movies.
That's the name.
Otesanic.
It's the name of the baby, or it's just the name of?
Yeah, it's the name of the baby.
Really? Okay. Does it mean something? Does it, like, if you translate the name? Oh, it's just a name. Okay. Do you have like a favorite local Czech figure? Someone is some persona that you, I don't know, see is very interesting or very maybe admirable?
Well, there are basically, we had some knights that were they fought at war in the Middle Ages, and the local tale says that if the nation is in the biggest crisis, those knights will rise from their graves and they will defend the country, or they protect. I mean, I haven't heard of them recently, in the recent years. So maybe that's why Abu Dahut, and it's gonna get worse because they haven't been around yet.
Okay, so who are they? Who are these people, like knights from the?
There are knights that they are the patrons of the Czech people, you know. Yes, so we have quite a few patrons, saints and patrons, a most famous person is probably Charles IV, who built lots of things, lots of castles, universities. During his time, Czech culture bloomed. So in Prague, you may still see some art. Charles Bridge, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's after him.
So why do you like him? What's his contribution to the Czech whatever? To the Czech culture?
He actually was a patron of education, and he built a lot of things. Nice. So he was one of the earliest kings of Czech, of Czech country. We were a kingdom.
Nice. So, and again, maybe that's related to the previous question that I asked you. But do you have like interesting / weird local holiday or a special day in Czech that you really?
Again, if you ask me about these things, we might be sitting here for a long time.
No, but I mean specific like Czech day or?
Yes.
Okay. So
yes,
go ahead.
So, for example, we have this the witch burning.
Oh.
Yes, witch burning. It celebrates burning witches. Yes, the Day of the Witches, basically.
So it's a day. It's
a day. It's a day. It's a night where people make big bonfires, and they make a big. Like a puppet of a witch, and they burn it, and then they drink around it, and they make.
How does it called? How does it day called?
Čarodějnice.
Really? And it's like it's a national day, or it's just you have like a day off, or?
I'm not sure if I don't remember if we actually have a day off, but I don't think so. But in the evening, people would come together, make a big bonfire, and some people would even dress like witches. And Czech people, in comparison to some countries, Czechs may display this dark humor. We like dark humor, and so husbands or boyfriends or good friends might joke about the girls in the house, like, oh, you better run before we catch you, before the witches burning.
It's a joke.
Yeah, but we would say it in a cute and funny way. It's not in a threatening way, but it's like, you better run because
because we're gonna close to the burning witch day. Okay, got it.
Yes.
So do you have a favorite place in the Czech Republic that
Czech Republic is full of beautiful places, and there are lots of them. Most of them are located outside of Prague. So if you have a little of time, you may invest into your time in traveling around. It's hard to pick one because there's lots of local color. There's lots of local
so name two
subcultures. For example, when it comes to nature, we have beautiful mountains where you have caves, waterfalls.
Give me names, Viktorija. Give me names.
You can have around Janské Lázně. You have mountains. Yeah, it's very beautiful there. Or if you like castles, my favorite castle is what's called Karlstein. It's also built by Charles IV, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Please, if anybody knows some more specific information and that needs correction, please do let me know at some point. It needs correction. But as far as to my knowledge, I think this castle was built by Charles IV.
So more about that. So you like really the nature that outside the big cities?
Czechs generally are big travelers. They lots of them prefer nature, camping. They're very adventurous people. Lots of them are very adventurous.
What do you like about Czech?
What do I like about Czechs?
Yeah, it can be cultural. It's going to be
Czechs don't like to argue. They're very chill, calm people generally. Again, I don't want to overly generalize, but I've never seen anybody like publicly screaming or fighting or so they're very quiet, and they're able, they even if they argue, they don't make enemies for life. They're able to put everything aside and say whatever,
Nice. How do you say whatever? How do you say, like, in a Czech way?
To je jedno.
And this is like common
or to máš jedno.
Nice. Okay. Is there anything that you would like to change about the Czech culture, the Czech country, whatever, like something that you would see is like a bad thing, or not bad, like something that needs to be changed?
Well, again, politics a bude hůř. Yeah.
Okay, so it's mainly politics. That's mainly it, or something in the culture that
the culture. Lots of Czech people still are struggling with English, and they don't have a lot of contact with the outside world. Lots of them still. So, some people might live in a bubble when they don't speak any other language and they just read the local news. Then they might be a bit their inflow of information might be a little bit limited,
Really?
When it comes to the outside world. Yeah, so they would, if you don't know English, if you don't know any other language, then the only source of information would be Czech media, and they can be pretty biased,
Wow. Okay, so it's like sounded a little bit like closed society in that sense.
It's changing. It has been changing in the past 10 years. But it's changing, and let's hope it's going to go in the right direction in this sense. But lots of people still struggle with learning English, and yeah.
So you think that that's something that you would you think that need to be changed in that sense?
Needs to be improved. Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
it
nice,
needs to be
interesting.
a little bit.
So you would say that maybe the Czech people are more like close society in that sense, or not? Maybe
In
maybe outside.
comparison, it depends
Yeah,
on
yeah.
what you compare with, right? Because if you compare, it's hard to compare like Czech and
Yeah, sure,
India,
sure.
Czech and Japan,
Yeah, of
So
course.
it's very, very hard to
Uh-huh.
compare. But considering that we live in Central Europe, um, we need to be a little bit more open.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
yes, and luckily there are younger people do learn English, and they are able to travel a little bit. But Czech people are generally very shy when
Okay.
it comes to trying to speak new languages.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
if you approach them and they don't know perfect English, they might say just like, "Oh, no, like no English, please leave me
Got
alone
it.
and I go away."
Got it.
Very
Wow.
shy. And also another thing that I would maybe improve upon is self-image, because Czech people can be very humble when it comes to their own self-image. So yeah, they like to complain sometimes about
Okay.
themselves. Oh,
Well,
this is not right, and this is not right, and they're very self-critical at times, about their own culture.
nice. So here's actually it was going very fast. I don't know, but here's the last question.
I mean, it's
very fast.
again, it's a very personal view.
Sure. That's
it
the
might
thing.
differ if you
Sure.
interview 10 people.
Yes, sure.
You interview 10 people, then it might differ the answers. Yeah.
Sure. So I know this is like a very big question, but see if you can have your take on it. Where do you see Czech in 5 or 10 years in your perspective? Where does it go? What's the trends? Who leads this country? I know it's a big question. It's like I'm asking a politician. No, and so is it going to be worse, or it's going to be better, or you think that it's going to be? How do you see Czech?
Worse or better. It's hard to say. Look, lots of things are changing, and no one knows what's going to happen in 5 years. You see, this year is a COVID year, or last year was a COVID year. So many things have happened, but I'm rather optimistic. Czech people are very strong in character. We had the Velvet Revolution in the 90s, in the 80s, where people had whole revolutions without killing anybody. This takes a lot of character and strength. So we have accomplished great things without any violence. And so it shows the willpower and the compassion, and Czech people do have it. So I'm convinced that good things are going to happen, but maybe we need to work on our politics. Politics.
What about I mean, putting aside the corona, what do you think that the challenges that are facing Czech in? You talk about politics or stuff like that, but what do you think that are the Czechs are more concerned about? About their countries or about whatever, I don't know, whether is it like education or economics or stuff like that. Again, beside the corona,
if you compare Czech salaries are not so high in comparison to other European countries. So the salaries need to be raised a little bit, and not only for politicians, but for everyday person, common man. People need to invest into things that actually matter, like education. Certain jobs need to be better paid, like teachers are not so well paid at this moment, or policemen, and that's why lots of capable people are leaving the country and starting their business elsewhere, because they're not so well paid where they are now. So if they want capable paid people to stay and to prevent them from leaving elsewhere, then the government needs to invest.
Okay, so you think so the last question, do you think it's going to be Habuda Hush, or it's gonna be better in Czech?
I am convinced. I'm a positive person, and I'm
Right.
convinced that Czech people will. People always find a way. So
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be worse with this now.
Great.
We are still working on it, but it's gonna get better.
It's gonna okay. That's a very nice note and positive note to end this interview with you. Thanks a lot for participating in this.
You're most welcome.
And how can I greet you with Czech to like a so optimistic goodbye greeting in Czech? Something.
Ciao, měj se.
Ciao, měj se. What does it mean?
Ciao is ciao, but měj se dobře. It's like have a good time or something like that.
Ciao, měj se.
Měj se.
Yeah, great.